So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, and it's our first week of actual Premier League games to look back on. Joining me as always, Mr. Hugh Newsom. How are we doing, bud?
Very good. And do you know what? It was lovely being out. I played last weekend in the freezing cold, and I was like, I'm not sure I want to be here anymore. I had that sort of slight, am I actually going to care this year? And it's all come back. The magic has happened. I'm back in cricket mode, and I'm loving it. So I'm very pleased to be back. It was a really good weekend, and we've got some decent weather. We've got runs. We've got all sorts, wickets. 380 ducks apparently to keep us entertained.
But the question is, how cold were you though? Because I don't think it was quite as many layers, was it?
No, I was fine. Wicketkeeper on, so I got loads of layers on anyway. But I did have the jumper on while I was keeping wicket, which was nice. But yeah, no, it was lovely. We were in a bit of a sort of a bowl, so we weren't too windy. I think there's a few people probably colder than me, but no, it was nice, lovely and sunny. Got a bit of sunburn, which I promised myself I would not get this year. I'll be much more sun-wise, which I haven't been already. Bad start, but we can only improve.
Absolutely. So everyone, 72 games kicked off the season across the Premier Leagues. 12 Premier Leagues got going. I'm going to give you some stats just to kick off straight away. How many of last year's champions, Mr. Newsom, do you believe got beat on day one?
Well, I've seen one that was a tie.
So Rothley Park.
Yeah, Rothley Park. We got one tie. That's the only one I've seen. So you tell me. Go on. I'm going to guess one.
5 of last year's champions: Didsbury, Ockbrook, Sawston, Prestwich, and Lower House, all beaten on the first weekend of the season.
Lower House beat. Yeah, wow.
Got things moving pretty quickly, but the quickest thing that moved all weekend was the guys down at Swardeston, where they lost the very, very first wicket of the season, just 2 balls into the game. It's fair to say, Sam Greer, let me get this right. Sam Greer put an absolute, what would you call it, dampener on Ollie Longdon's start, second ball of the season, and Sam Greer of Witham took the poles away. Now, I've got to ask you, you've wintered, you've been through pre-season nets, you go out for your first bat, the sky is blue, the sun is shining, second ball, how's that feel?
Well, get your kit and pitch it into the sea in sort of down there. I think is the way to do that. So I think in all fairness, Swordston 243 for 8, and then they smashed Witham, didn't they? So if we think of it from a team point of view, that was a ball that was going to get anybody out, because we can have a look at it. The joy of
cracking ball.
Joy of play cricket. Yeah, it's a good seed. It's jagged back. Top of off. Yeah, I think he's done well not to chop it on. Maybe he did get a little bit of it, but just watching him walk off the pitch now, that's under his arm. But no, he's not chucking his kit. And his mates having a shadow bat at the other end, pretending he's, that's fine. And everyone in the Witham team's having a big grin. But yeah, it's miserable, isn't it? And it's a stupid game. But I hark back to the first ball of the season a few years back, when I dropped the first ball of the season. In fact, do you know what? I think I've done it twice. I think I've dropped the first ball of the season twice. Once as a fielder, once as a wicketkeeper. And it's just like, this is a good start, isn't it? But things normally go up after that.
Can't get any worse than that, can it? So we do apologise, Ollie. It can't get any worse than that, mate. But talk about the other end of the scale. The first centurion of the season also happened in the East Anglia Premier League. Now, okay, so they had a head start by an hour. They started ahead of everyone else, like they always do in the East Anglia Premier League. And the first centurion of the season, a name that we've used a number of times over the last couple of years, Jordan Neal, ton of 106 balls, as Horsford went on to put 322 for 5 off their 50 overs. You go from the extremes there, Hugh. Ollie Longden losing his wickets in the first 2 balls. Jordan Neal, away you go. That's how you start the season, isn't it, mate?
He's also scored exactly 100, so he's got to 100 and went, right, you lads have a go. So he's got 100 off 106 balls and strolled off the pitch to accolades in a comfortable win for Horsford against Ashmore and Barton Wanderers. So yeah, the EAPL is up and running and already exciting.
Yeah, and I think when you get a win like that to start the season and you get your runs like that to start the season, it just can't go wrong, really. It's just almost a perfect start. And on within your own side as well, you've got Ryan Finlay taking a 6 for Horsford against Ashmore and Barton Wanderers. Between you on the batting side, the bowling side, happy days there, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah. And we've got, now did Ramsey come up? Ramsey came up?
Yeah, Ramsey came up into the East Anglia Premier League and won.
Yeah, they got a win straight off that. It's just, it seems to be that, you jump into that league, you are so well prepared because it's such a difficult league to get into. So you're well prepared and you're off and running. Down and did well last year. They've lost first game, but yeah, Ramsey straight up. So yeah, we've got Jordan Neal with his 100. He was the top scorer in the league, and Wayne Bradley with 88 as well. For Ramsey, so he's had a great start there.
Absolutely, and I think got to give credit to our friends at Mildenhall, winning that first game of the season, beating the champions Sawston by 4 wickets in the end. Sawston scored 260 for 9. Casey Carriappa 3 for 34. Surprise, surprise, he's come and taken wickets on day one. Tristan Blackledge, one of our friends of our show, scoring 49, but top scorer for Mildenhall was Matt Allen at 82. And again, you start the season with a win, 262 plays 260. That's the sort of game you want to be involved in from the start, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also, we're looking at you're looking at the run scoring already. Already we've got a 300, we've got a 280, a 260, a 260. It just goes to show that league is a runs league, isn't it?
Not the highest run scoring league in the country for no other reason, is it? And so away you go. Hey, let's have a quick dash around the country and see what else we can pick up with. I think we've got to start at the very top, haven't we? Let's talk about the Bradford Premier League, where we've got the highest scorer of the week there in Jared Warner, 129 for Methley against Bradford and Bingley. Same league, New Farnley the champions. They bowled Pudsey St Lawrence out for 167 and then won by 6 wickets, with Fletcher Coots scoring some runs quite quickly. But I'm sure there's someone else's name you want to pick out in the Bradford league there, isn't there, Hugh?
Jay Pocklington?
That might be the one.
Yeah, Jay Pocklington, someone we've obviously spoken to. He's wintered very well in the Sydney grade cricket, doing well at Notts. Everything's turning up. Joe Pocklington, 110 off 142 balls in Farsley, but they lost. So he got most of the runs, but they managed to lose. Woodlands with some more of a team performance, 227 for 5, chasing down Farsley's 224 for 8 with a couple overs to spare. So actually, Woodlands got there quite comfortably in the end.
Yeah, with their little star, Brad Schmoolian, who we've seen him pop up on socials all winter down in New Zealand, and obviously got them off to a good start there. Other than that, over in that league, not too many surprises from my perspective. You have got a big score there from Townville, scoring 308 for 5. Big story there, though. Townville 308 for 5, beating Ger Lane comfortably. But the big story being at the back end of last week, we saw that Ger Lane have been docked 12 points before the start of the season in the Premier League for failing to meet the Premier League rules in regards to women and girls cricket. The rules are there. They were there for the start of the season. I read and hear that they are going to appeal, but it's not the way you want to start off, is it?
No, it's always a bit. We can start a lot of arguments about all these kind of things, but I mean, I think we're trying to get everything moving in the right direction. If those are the rules, those are the rules. 12 points possibly is potentially lenient because other clubs around other leagues are not allowed to play in said leagues without having those things in place. So, everyone's got different rules for different things. But yeah, it's an interesting one, and we'll see what happens in regards to the rest of the season. But 12 points is half a win, isn't it? So
it adds up pretty quickly, that, doesn't it? Definitely. Yeah. Let's just go around some of the leagues and pick out some of the results then. Let's go local, shall we, Hugh, and have a look at the Derbyshire League. So last year's champions, Ockbrook and Borrowash, 203 all out at Ticknell. But Tom Wood, 95 not out. Paul Borrington, 66, and Rex Tooley, 33 not out. Ticknell won by 9 wickets. I did say on the show last week with Taaffe, Rex Tooley, name to keep an eye on without a shadow. That'll be, I wouldn't call it a shocked win, but it's definitely one for people to keep an eye on, isn't it?
Well, Ticknell's one of those teams that, you've got Paul Borrington there. If he's available, you've basically got 50 runs on the board minimum, haven't you? So if he's there, and then they've obviously got the class of the other lads in amongst it. So they don't have the depth of other teams, but when their big lads are there, they win, don't they? So
Yeah.
Otbrook have run into them there, and that's an incredibly comfortable win for Ticknell. I wonder how the rest of the season's going to go, starting like that against a strong side like Otbrook. That could be interesting. I'll start at Duffield because I was down there yesterday watching the women and girls stuff as well. Tough start for them against a lower level Premier League club in Belper, but who will have sort of aspirations. That was a game Duffield would have wanted to get a win in. But Hash, who's the sort of not the, I don't know if he's officially the pro there, but he's sort of helping out with the coaching and things. His brother's come in, got himself 50, and he's got himself a fiver as well. So there's not many people done so well on their first game for a club. But yeah, they went to 177. Top order failed on them there, didn't they? Top order just did not fire. Denby off and running. I think a lot of the Wilson clan were spending most of the winter in Australia enjoying themselves, and Charlie 33, Joe 29, Jack Richardson's got 5 and Joe's got bowled no wickets, but for 17 runs off 9 overs. You want a wicket to go with that. You've gone for 17 off 9 overs. That's pretty tight as well. So yeah, I think Denby started strong again, and maybe it's like their year because they've had bad periods over the last few years, haven't they? And then this year they started well. If they can just be a bit more consistent, I think they could well win it. Sandy Acre, they've won against Alves and Bolton. Dan Wheeldon causing damage, 3 for 16 off his 8 overs. He just continues to be a serious presence. And Ollie Flindle, 54 not out in his first game for Sandy Acre as well. So well done him. And there's the Ticknell game. And then, Chesterfield got off to a start. Ben Slater playing and Ben Martindale playing. That's a useful side. Yeah, it's handy when Ben Slater's your hometown product so you can play him for free. That's a very, very useful start. 65 from Ben 65 from Ben Slater, 65 from Ben Martindale. So the Bens contributing nearly 130 runs between them. Orawaz had 100 from Gareth Woolley, but it wasn't enough. But the story of that game is that there was 2 wickets taken with the last 2 balls. Is that right?
Of the Roberts innings. They went into that last over needing 7 to win. They'd scored 4 and then lost 2 wickets off the last 2 balls there, Hugh. That close game that one was. And it was, Harry Williams taking the wicket with the 5th ball. And so bear in mind, you're now going to the last ball of the game, 2 runs in it, and there's a run out. So run out off the last ball, meaning that Chesterfield just scraped through in that game at the end.
It's a big win, that. And then, Spondon getting knocked over by Swarxton. Swarxton had a tough season last year, for their standards, and to get a big win over Swarxton, a big win over Spondon first up, that's a great result for them. Chris Windmill for Spondon got 6 for 20 in that game, so there's been lots of wickets and good figures in the Derbyshire leagues, and I think top score in the game was 25, so 116 plays 79. So a difficult track, and Swarxton got away with that.
That game just confused me. There's no 2 ways about it. Watching from afar, you bowl Swarxton out for 116 on their own patch, and you're going to go into bat then thinking, we've got to be quite comfortable here, boys, haven't we? But Spondon 79 all out after just under 28 overs. And bear in mind that they'd got off to a reasonable start. Stephen Muller, was out for 4. Ben Wright, 25. Ali Dixon, 13. Josh Breer, 16. But then they just absolutely collapsed from 60 for 2 to 79 all out.
Ouch. Matt O'Dare, 3 for 3. Ben Hutchison, 3 for 31. Figures looking, dreadful figures in comparison to everybody else. A mere 3 for
Absolutely.
31. Yeah.
Tough day.
That's early season wickets, isn't it? I mean, they can be fantastic, can't they? I mean, and they can be a bit iffy. Depends what's been going on. We did have a bit of rain in the week, so maybe that's just caused a few issues over there. But yeah, good game. Yeah, and short game as well. You don't want to be out there all day when it's a bit cold.
No, not in the slightest. And you say a bit of rain. I think there was 5 games across the whole of the country rained off. Manchester got hit quite badly. I think it was three or four of those games were rained off. But bear in mind, I was in Leeds for the afternoon, and we didn't see anything like that. So we weren't that far apart. The game I want to look at now, though, is the one that our friend Mutz from my side of cricket has already put something out on socials about, and it was me guilty of sending them a DM straight away. But it's the first tie of the season on the first weekend of the season, and to see a tie when Newton Linford, who came 8th last year in the Leicestershire and Rutland Premier League, Newton Linford won the toss, elected to bowl, 242 for 6. I think they'd be fair to say quite happy with that. Rothley Park, though, 242 for 9. Is it a what are those? They could have won because it was less wickets, but the rules don't allow for that, do they? There.
Well, it's a good finish, is what it is. So Rothley batted first. They lost a wicket off their last ball, and actually the final over. Looking at their final over, in fact, the final 2 overs. Well, from the sort of 48.4, we've gone wide, wicket wide, no run, no run, no run, 1 by, 1 run, no run, wicket. That's the end of the Rothley Park innings. So a really, really crucial.
Squeeze them.
Yeah, final over there. And then Newton Linford walked in needing 7 to win off the final over. Buck was bowling it. Is it Nathan Buck?
Nathan Buck, yeah.
Yeah, Nathan Buck was bowling it. He's done a very, very tidy job up until the last ball. So it's defending it. They scored a single off the first, and then dot ball, leg by, dot ball, wicket. So 4 needed for the ties, 5 for the win, and the final ball's gone for 4. So a really, really great finish, and probably unexpected that. No decline, I note.
No, not at all. Ollie Freckingham opened the bowling there, but I thought what's interesting is Nathan Buck opened the bowling with Ollie. Nathan went 1 for 71 off his 10. But it didn't matter because it was that last over that counted, wasn't it? It didn't really matter across that entire match. If he hadn't got that last over right, they were in trouble.
Do we know what Dieter Klein's up to this year? I've not seen anything.
No, not picked up on that one. Not seen him on any socials. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And maybe if anyone can let us know, let us know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because, I mean, he's been absolutely... Him and Ollie have just been
fundamental,
crucial to Rother. Yeah, just absolutely crucial, and have just won them leagues, haven't they, for a few years. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see where Dieter Klein's moved on to, if he has moved on, or maybe just got a bit of a niggle. So hopefully he's back shortly, because he's certainly a character.
Let's have a look at a couple of other games around that league. Obviously, we don't have time to talk about every single game, but the one that I've got to pick out, Oakham, who just avoided relegation last year in the Leicester League, bowled out for 72 by Kibworth. And Kibworth made absolutely short work of that, 73 for 2 off 13 overs. A certain Mr. Rishi Patel, Leicestershire professional, scoring 25. Matt Bashford of Kibworth taking 5 for 15. You don't want to start your season being bowled out for 72, do you, Hugh?
No. We've got another 5 as well. Ayush Chayagi for Horton and Thurmby, 5 for 24 against Barrow as well. So there's 2 5s, 2 hundreds. We've got centuries for Ronak Rajashankar and Corey Chantrill, 124 for Ronak and 105 not out for Corey. So congratulations to both of them. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of runs in that league as well, isn't there? Yeah,
most definitely. I think the game that you've just the one you've just pointed out there, Ronak Rajashankar, that was a cracking game between Loughborough Town and Leicester Ivanhoe. Again, Loughborough Town 264 for 7. Leicester Ivanhoe batted second. They went into the final over needing 11 to win, scored 8 runs off it. But the big moment in that game, and without a shadow, Rajashankar got out of the fourth ball of that over. He got to 124, I think it was, and he got out with 2 balls to go. He's got to have been feeling a bit gutted there, Ronak, hasn't he? Matt Yates coming hit 6 to actually get them within a couple of runs, but you score 124, having opened the bat in, carried it all the way to the end, and then 2 balls from the end, Hugh, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got left quite a lot to do. I think the 48th over, 48th over, we had 2 wickets fall. They needed to do a bit more in the sort of. They had a big 47th over, but looking at the scorecard, there was lots of 6s and 7s in the overs before that, rather than the 11s and 12s that they needed. So they had a big 47th over, but the 48th over cost them a few wickets and didn't get them enough runs and left them just a bit too much to do. But great game. It looks like Rajaseka, he took a single off the first ball of the 49th. I think he's probably better off staying at one end and seeing what he could do. But yeah, I think the last ball went for 6, so that made the game sort of look a little bit closer.
A little bit tighter. Brilliant.
Good games of cricket.
Yeah, Leicester League looked really entertaining at the weekend, and look forward to seeing what cracks off there over the coming weeks. Before we look at any other leagues, though, it's time to bring in our friend, Mr. Matt Taaffe from Cric. He's not with us directly today, but we have chatted to him about what their pros and their overseas have done at the weekend. We do know that not all of them are here quite just yet, but let's listen to what Taaffe's got to say. So with Mr. Matt Taaffe, as always, from Cric, he's not been able to join us directly today. Busy boy this time of year, to say the least, isn't it? Just how mad is this 4 weeks for you, Taaffe?
I can't wait for it to be over. To be honest, can't wait. Cricket's a distraction now, so that's a nice thing. But yeah, it's honestly bedlam. And like I say, I'm sure we're not the only ones out there that's bedlam, but it's crazy.
And it's made... Am I right in saying it's made more bedlam to a certain extent by the fact that we have leagues starting from the 18th of April to mid-bloody May?
Yeah, it never helps. I wish every league was the same, every rules was the same. But yeah, the airspaces in the Middle East has been a chaos.
Right, of course.
Yeah, players having to go the long way round and then getting stuck in the US with visa issues and e-passports and it's anything that you can imagine has been thrown at us this past week. That's this past week, 2 weeks and a month.
So have you had players who've had flights who already booked and basically got a change in full stop?
Yeah, well, we were in a bit of a sticky situation at Blackpool as well. Like I say, we booked our pros flights and they got cancelled. So like you say, you lose the money as well, which isn't ideal for an amateur sports club.
No.
But yeah, so flights have been cancelled, no refunds, book new flights and just find a way of getting them across, really. It has levelled out a little bit now and like I say, everyone's looking like they're on track. But yeah, whilst it was going on, it was pretty niggly.
Yeah, I was hearing rumours, and not from you guys, of dropouts in March in particular from pros. Has that continued, or has it sort of petered out and now you're sort of back on a level playing field?
Yeah, it's sort of levelled out. Like you say, it happens every year. You can't control what associations crop up with tournaments and this and that. Spin camps in Blackpool's word, which came out of nowhere. You can't control it, and it's frustrating as it is for us and the club. So it sort of levelled it out. Again, it was another wild couple of weeks when these were cropping up, but it all looks on track for players to be coming over and, like you say, showing what they're about this summer.
Absolutely. Not many to talk about from the weekend. There wasn't a lot over here yet, and therefore playing. But let's talk about some of the ones that you're looking forward to seeing. And I'm going to pick a name straight to the top. He pro'd for you at Blackpool on Saturday, but I'm more interested in knowing how's he going to get on in the Lancashire League, Mr. Gareth Severin, versus playing on those nice green, those nice decks down south that he had last year.
Well, we'll soon find out. He didn't get going for us on Saturday, which was unfortunate. But a high quality player, his stats and on both New Zealand and UK speak for themselves. So I'm sure he'll adapt and find a way like the best do. But it'll be a nice little stat to marry up against each other come September. Yeah,
it's nice. We've got Gareth's come from the Home Counties League and he's coming up to the Lancashire League. We've got George Politis from the Liverpool District doing the opposite, from Liverpool District down to the Home Counties. Let's see which one at the end of the season has made more runs. I have a funny feeling where my money is, but we won't go there. Who else are you looking forward to seeing coming over?
Yeah, we like you say, we've got quite a few coming over. Again, we'll just stick on the New Zealand front. We've got Lewis Delport returning to Oxford Downs, obviously a key figure for them both on and off the pitch. Yeah, sticking on the New Zealand front, like you say, we've got Jeet Ravel over joining Gaz in the Lancs League. He'll be at Haslingden. He arrives on Friday, so he'll be in for Sunday's game. So interested to see how he goes. We've got Jesse Tashkoff for Harpenden. Again, coming off the back of a monster campaign for Wellington. So again, let's see how he goes. I'm probably going to leave this one out there. Oscar Jackson, he's heading over Bradshaw. He's again made his first class list day in T20 debuts this winter for Wellington. Former New Zealand under-19 captain. He looks a serious act. So I'm probably going to chop him up there as my top two for the ones to watch out for this summer.
From New Zealand.
From New Zealand, yeah. Matt Campbell worked out well for me last year at Leek. See how he goes at Kimberley.
Took a couple of wickets last weekend for Kimberley again.
Yeah, steady pro, perfect for league cricket, in all honesty. But yeah, like you say, moving on, plenty coming across. KC Cariappa, we touched on him last week's pod. He's back.
3 wickets again for Mildenhall in a win over the last year's champions.
Safi Ghaffari up at Richmond again. He's back. Whether his county commitments will hinder his Premier League appearances, we'll find
Played for
out.
Richmond Shire at the weekend, which is great to see.
Yeah, but he was back first game. Again, absolute class act, wicket taking machine. And then, like you say, plenty coming across. Proven performers up and down the country. Meran Samwell. Again, from Penzance to Wanstead. Again, class act with the ball. Interested to see how he goes.
That's what I'm really intrigued with.
Interested to see how he goes. Like you say, Wanstead are another good outfit. See how they go this summer. And then Sandun Werakakodi, if I've probably pronounced that wrong. Again, signed for Ramsey. Again, class act. Hits a long ball for a small man. So I'm sure he might cash in for Ramsey this summer.
Yeah, I don't think it's the biggest ground in the East Anglia League, and they got off to a winning start at the weekend as well.
Definitely, and like you say, I could be here all day talking about the lads coming over and girls. But yeah, I'm gonna stick by Oscar and Matt Campbell as my two to watch out for again this summer. I just think the perfect builds for club cricket.
Yeah, and I think, isn't it amazing how that's developed over the last few years, that these New Zealanders in particular just seem to be that lovely fit in and around the clubs, don't they?
Yeah, it's why every club comes to us. They want an Australian, New Zealand, or a South African overseas to start with. Like you say, they sort of get that culture, they get that mould both on and off the pitch, and it just works well for clubs. But yeah, like you say, they still play club cricket over there, so they are still accustomed to that sort of nitty-gritty, get your head down and get stuck in cricket. But yeah, like you say, they're on top of everyone's list.
Absolutely. Really so come on, give me one name in particular, then I'm going to throw one back at you. 2 years ago, we had Zach Fowkes playing at Lytham, being picked out of Lytham and ended up at Warwickshire. Then he ended up at Durham playing he's played international cricket now, hasn't he? Yeah. Pick one name on that list of yours where you go, actually, that's the one that I could see being picked out at some point.
I don't want to say it, but like you say, I'd probably go Oscar. Like you say, Gaz Severin, he's got an ancestry visa, so he's got that easy link into the counties.
Okay.
Could get picked up. I know he was in a Kent squad last year. But yeah, you know what, Livo, I'm sticking with it. I'm going as Oscar as the one. Again, he's got a British passport.
Okay.
So he could be a little one that you do see just sneak into a few second 11 and maybe higher honours this summer.
That'd be nice.
If he's allowed.
Exactly. Now, what I've found really interesting over the winter with a lot of these players who have been coming over and seeing the signings who are coming over, there does seem to be an even bigger grab on those, what you've just said, ancestry visas. This is a massive help, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. Again, it's on top of everyone's list. They don't have to worry about the endorsements that clubs have to go through. It's just a simple process for a high caliber professional cricketer you're getting. But yeah, you're a lucky player if you've got dual citizenship or an ancestry visa or anything like that. So the world's their oyster, really, and I'm sure for years to come they'll be in high demand.
Absolutely. And it wouldn't be wrong. It would be wrong of me, sorry, to not mention that whilst you guys are just, shall we say, tidying up the UK season right now, you've already started making announcements for next winter quite a lot. I'm really excited by one, as you well know. My mate, Mr. Dan Lincoln, heading down under for his first time ever. He's bloody 30 and it's his first time ever. That'll be a real test for someone like Dan, won't it?
Yeah, it will be. And like you say, that's the joy of being able to go away and spend the winter out down under and play cricket. But yeah, it's full on, which isn't helping the situation leading up to the season. I think we're closing on 100 placements already for Australia this winter, which is just scary. It's April. The season's only finished 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Out there. So, like you say, last year we had the pull with the Ashes. It was a big year, big demand. There's not the Ashes this winter. There's a one-off test match, I think, against Australia and England at the MCG for some
celebration one or something. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So not the pull like the Ashes, but again, the demand's just sky high, and yeah, hopefully it can continue. And if anyone's out there that's wanting to go to Australia, New Zealand, get in touch, and we'll get you sorted.
And I'm pretty sure I'm right in what I have noticed in the last few months. Okay, Dan is at the far end of his career compared to a lot of others. They are getting younger and younger. There's a lot of these lads who are just doing their A levels and they're off, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I was one of them. Again, freshly turned 18. Don't know how I coped. Looking back at some of the pictures of me out there when I was 18. But
we've seen the haircuts.
Yeah, it's like you say, they're coming out fresh out of education and they're just going really. So a lot of worried parents trying to reassure them. But no, you learn quick and you become a man pretty quick out there when you're fending for yourself. But 6 months in Australia or New Zealand, it's better than here, isn't it?
Absolutely. We'll do what we've done the last couple of years again. We'll share the link on our website and on socials over the next few weeks. If anyone wants to sign up with CricX, and they're the best in the business. That's why we're with them. They put more players out into Australia and New Zealand than anywhere else, than anybody else. So if you want help getting out there, just jump on with the boys and get ready for a winter away from what we have, that miserable, grey, horrible stuff we have, Taaffe?
Well, I'm trying to work on it, and it's not going down very well.
Oh yeah, but have you asked Hursty about that one yet, though?
Well, I could work from out there, so we can spin that one. It's we need a bathroom first before you can think about Australia. So, any bathroom fitters out there that can help me, drop me a message.
Absolutely. On that note, you've just given us the name of this pod, mate. Catch you later.
Cheers.
So thanks to Taaffe for that update. Fingers crossed to be back with us, inverted commas, live next week. You might have noticed that we didn't talk too much about his own cricket because the Northern Pyramid are started a couple of weeks late. They've got their League Cup at the moment, but they're starting the league a couple of weeks later. Let's have a quick jump around the country and talk about one or two others, though, Hugh. And the North East Premier League, we had the pleasure last week of talking with Chris Youlden from Newcastle, who scored 30 against Felling at the weekend, but he wouldn't have been over impressed with being beaten quite comfortably over at Felling.
No, it was a big win for Felling, 302 on the board. So again, just east is the runs, isn't it? Even in the north. Yeah, Felling 302 for 5, and Newcastle didn't get close, but all out for 219. Arthur Wilcox of Downham Stowe fame.
You got it.
Are we a uni boy up there? I suspect we may be.
100%.
And then Chris Youlden, Arthur got 69 in his first game for Newcastle, so they'll be pleased with that. But yeah, not a huge amount from anyone else. And a good team performance from the bowlers. Thomas Lane 3 for 23, Paul Leonard 2 for 33 as well. But yeah, Ollie Morgan 94 not out off just 53 balls for Felling is a sort of won the game comfortably there. He was unstoppable, shall we say. Well, he still isn't stopped because he hasn't got out. So yeah, big win for them. So the Ashton game, Ben Harmison was a top scorer, 42. So that's Steve's brother. But yeah, Ashton a comfortable win, bowled out Chester Street for 168. John Coxon got a few, but not a huge amount else. But another Harmison, Charlie Harmison, 2 for 32, which now is that we think Steve's son, or is that
That's Steve's
son?
lad? Yeah, that's Steve's young son.
Okay, so there we go. So we got a Harmison's once again striking fear into the northeast diaspora. So congratulations to the Harmison family for a big win for Ashington. Yeah, Burnett Field 127. Burnett Field got home, but it was a tight one against Hetton Lions. Hetton Lions 127 all out in 32 overs. And Burnett Field got their 8 down. Harry Crawshaw 44 and Laurie Robson 30 not out. A couple of crucial knocks. Not a lot else going on with the batters, but Ethan Baker 4 for 14 for Burnett Field there. That was a crucial spell as well. So congrats to Burnett Field. South North's 252 for 8 in 50 overs. And Shotley Bridge didn't get there. Hayden Mustard. We've got a lot of famous children knocking about in the northeast, haven't we?
We have.
43 top scoring for Shotley Bridge, but that's his first game for Shotley Bridge as well.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. 43. He top scored. Well done him, but yeah, they're all out for 165, so they weren't able to get over the line. Then Benwell Hill, Burnmore. Burnmore chased down Benwell Hill's 172 for 9, very comfortably. Robbie Bowman doing all right as he normally does, 84 off 61. And if you've got someone coming in at number 5 or 6 to get a few runs, Stewie Pointer's your man. 21 not out off 23. In fact, he probably came in higher up the order than that. Let's have a quick look.
Definitely.
He came in at he came in at 5. So there you go. It's pretty useful player to have coming in at number 5. So yeah, comfortable win for Burnmore there. And then CM Castle Eden 172 for 10. Comfortably beat CM Harbour, who were I don't know whether they bowled out. It says 9 down, but anyway, ended at 9 down for CM Harbour off 40.5 overs. Not quite sure what happened there. Maybe retired.
Yeah, quite a league of extremes with some really low scoring games and some quite high scoring games there. I think the one you missed there, Hugh, South North, congratulations to Johnny Bushnell, 119 off 111 balls there. And I do love the fact that Shotley Bridge, 2 for 31, proper northeast name, Kieran Milburn. You know, you've got to have a Milburn playing up in the northeast, haven't you? If it's not a relation, I'd be absolutely amazed. So let's move a little bit further down the road from the northeast, and let's talk about the North Yorkshire and South Durham League, which got going at the weekend. We talked earlier about the fact that Jordan Neal had got the first ton of the season. I was questioned on this at the weekend, Hugh. I did get a message from someone saying, surely Luke Symington has got that for Hartlepool, but they started an hour later. So he was a little bit behind there, but interesting to see Hartlepool there. Luke Symington, 108 off 132 balls. James Minto, 59 off 100 balls. So he's made the move across to Hartlepool to play Premier League cricket, and he came on to bowl later and took 3 for 58. But it wasn't enough. Mask promoted into the Premier League there in North Yorkshire, South Durham, winning on their first attempt.
Yeah, I mean, that is chasing down 232 against a strong side like Hartlepool is a hell of an effort. So Ryan Nadeem, 78 not out. Imran Qureshi, 77 off 80 balls. So a really, really good performance from them straight into the league. Well done them.
Yeah, that's the way you want to go, isn't it? Definitely. Yeah. Barnard Castle, last year's champions, they won. They won relatively comfortably, towards 260 plus against Stockton. Stockton all out for 212. Fair to say, runs and wickets spread all over the place in that game. But the other big ton in that league, Matthew Pillans for Darlington Darlington RA, 109 off 76 balls as part of scoring 189 for Darlington, but it wasn't enough because Middlesbrough had beat them by 7 wickets with Rhys Ditter scoring 79 not out. interesting game that for me, Hugh. Just not that many runs, but 109 out of 189 is a good go there, isn't it?
No, and you've got Colin Ackerman playing for Darlington, and you got him out for 1. I think that's probably a bit of a difference maker there. If you're getting Colin Ackerman out for 1, that's a big wicket. I don't know if there's any video of this one. I'm just going to have a very quick look. Well, there might be. Is it? No, it's not tuned in. But yeah, it's Colin Ackerman. He's had a bowl as well, and he's got 1 wicket. But yeah, that's a terrific win to get that done. Just looking down, Saltburn 173, which is, that's, well, depending on which season we're in. Yeah, that's high for an early season at Saltburn, isn't it? Richmondshire couldn't get anywhere near it. We've got Shafi Ghaffari with his 4 for 65 for Richmondshire, but yeah, Sachitra Sarasingh 54 off 89 balls, and he's also got 4 for 35 off his 15 overs, and he's sort of won Saltburn the game there. So yeah, Richmondshire going down at Saltburn, as many a team have done.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, Liam Crooks and Jack Ullman taking wickets as well, because Saltburn and them just taking wickets seems to be the north. But great to see people like Shafi Ghaffari going back to Richmondshire to play there. He's obviously on the books at Durham. We've already talked about James Minto going back to Hartlepool there. So the players are actually coming out. If they're not getting those first team games for Durham, get yourself down to that Premier League and get playing there, boys.
The Northeast is brilliant for that, isn't it? I mean, it's we can go on about the Northeast and the sort of the cricket system up there. It seems more universal, shall we say, than maybe other areas of the country. So yeah, congrats. If you want to be a state school cricketer, then just get your mum and dad to move to the Northeast, because I think that's probably where you're in with the biggest shout, because they just seem to produce cricketer after cricketer after cricketer. It just seems more part of the fabric of society as a whole up there, doesn't it? And
most definitely.
So I'm sure lots of people would argue with me on that, but looking in from afar, it looks like a good system that maybe needs to be copied elsewhere.
Yeah, just another couple of games to look at from around the country, and I think we've got to go to the Greater Manchester League. There wasn't only, I think, 3 games played there out of the 6 that were due to be played, but we have the best bowling figures of the weekend in the Edgeworth versus Prestwich game, didn't we, Hugh?
Edgeworth Preston. Start again. Edgeworth Prestwich. And of course, who else? Adnan Gauss, 7 for 24 off 11 overs. He also got 38. Bowled Prestwich out for 123 and 40 overs. Chasing down Edgeworth's 16849. So runs are not easy to come by, and Adnan Gauss is going to make that even harder, isn't he? Nico van Ziel, 4 for 44 to make things nice, and quadruple Nelson almost. But yeah, Adnan Gauss is just class, isn't he? So it's hard when you've got somebody like him bowling on an interesting pitch, as it seemed to be there. You've got a win on your hands.
Yeah, it just, sometimes people's names just keep coming up, and I think Adnan's one that we'll hear quite a lot of during the summer, without a doubt. Just going to take a look at one more league and another very quick game to look at in particular. One of my favourite games for the weekend, I might be slightly biased on this one, but I got a message the moment that the Hucknall game had finished against Papelwick and Lindy at the weekend. You only have to look at the scorecard on that one to know that was a great game. Hucknall batted first and scored 233 for 6, and then Papelwick 218 all out. But the key for me was, if you watch a video that our mate Blathers from B3 sent us, and he pans around, the amount of bloody people who were on the ground watching that game for day one, happy days. That's what we want to see.
That's it. I mean, we've got some famous names there. Robin Smith, obviously, sadly passed away in the winter. Not that one. But we've got Freddie McCann, who is obviously making a huge name for himself for Papelwick. He's got 51. And Ben Shaw got 36. But yeah, George Blatherwick between them got 5 for Saif Ali, with 3 for 39 for Hucknall. And then, Archie Moore, 73 off 91. And George with a cheeky 28 not out. Made sure of that win. So yeah, it's a terrific win for Hucknall, and it sets out their stall, doesn't it?
Definitely. Definitely. They look strong. That looks strong to me. I think the other result in the Notts League that was obviously quite a critical one for the weekend was Cavaliers playing against Cookney on the first game of the season. That doesn't happen very often. Cavs 196 for 9. Courtney, 152 all out, and a certain Mr. Fatty Singh, 3 for 15 off his 6 overs for Cavs and Carrington.
Yeah. Sav Pereira is back there as well, a cheeky 28 as well, useful in the circumstances. Shivnasin Thakur with 39 not outs and Akil Patel 31. So, there's some serious quality in Cavs, isn't there? And I mean, there is in Courtney as well. But yeah, if Courtney had got that win there, then it could have really set a cat amongst the pigeons. Kimberley had a very important win. Kimberley had a very important win against Woollerton, because that could have gone either way. 158 for 10 were Woollerton, and Kimberley got there with plenty of overs left, but only 2 wickets left, so that was a big win for them. I'm going to have a shout out for Mansfield Hosiery Mills, because there's a certain Mark Smallwood who is, I know reasonably well. He'll be very, very pleased. They're back in the Prem this year, and he only got 5, so I'll point that out. But Sol Budinger, it's not bad lad to come in. He's come in 115 off 70 balls and got them a win over Collingham. Mansfield will be very pleased to be back in the Prem and winning. And then Caythorpe, who were a bit of a legendary side when I was a child growing up, they've popped back in the Prem this year. All out of 79, unfortunately, in 30 overs. Notts and Arnold were a very comfortable win in the Notts Prem.
Please don't tell me Caythorpe are going to be the equivalent of your friends at Radcliffe this year.
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, but when I was at school, Caythorpe just seemed to be the club that were just doing very well and consistently doing well. And then I moved away from Notts, so I'm not quite sure on their interim periods. But yeah, it's nice to see that name. It's a famous name from my point of view, back in the Premier Leagues. Radcliffe will be back.
Yeah, and some great footballing figures there for Notts and Arnold in that game. You see Delina Mudalingi, 4 for 6. And Adam Martin, 3 for 5. Not a bad way to start, is it?
Yeah. No, that's a useful
not a bad way to start. Hey, we're almost coming to the end, but we have to talk about one more competition, one more league, because if we don't, we'd be absolutely missing a trick. It's the one that always catches us when it comes to our figures, Hugh. It's yesterday in the Lancashire League. It's the Lancashire League, as always, on a Sunday, predominantly through the season. And it's fair to say that the champions did not have it their own way. Coming up against Ramsbottom in the first game of the season. Ramsbottom scoring 216 for 6. And Lower House all out for 146. Not the way the champs want to start the season, is it, that?
No, and a surprise, really. I mean, they were very, really dominant last year. I mean, as dominant as a Lancs League have been for many, many years. So, yeah, it's surprising to see such a quick turnaround. But the Lancs League is a strong league, and people, know how to get their own back. So, yeah, that's a quick turnaround. Probably for the good of us and the good of the league. It's to get a turnaround like that first up is going to make things very interesting. Yeah, 216 for 6 Ramsbottom in their 50 overs. Harry Caton 77 off 105 and Brad Fielding 70 not out. And then Lower House fell in a heap, but Ben Heap got 39. Lovely little link there. Do you like it? And Chirag Karuna 6 for 45 for Ramsbottom was the match-winning spell there. So well done. Then Haslingden got 251 for 5 in their game. Enfield weren't able to get there, 243 for 8. I'm quite sure I got no highlights there, which is what's happened there? I'll have to check that one out. Oh, there's no second. Of course, it's the Lancs League, isn't it? They haven't looked at the scorecard properly. It's just there isn't any data. That's why. Scrap that. Yeah. So Enfield 243 for 8, Haslingden 251. So Jamal Stewart 59 not out. Lucas Barra 50 off 60 balls with a match-winning contributions there. Yeah. Anything else you spotted in the Lancs League?
Well, I think the key there is there's 3 sixfers in the Lancs League on opening day of the season. Chirag Karuna taking 6 for 45. Jack Snyman taking 6 for 32, and Andrew Sutcliffe taking 6 for 28. It's fair to say it was a bowler's weekend there.
Well, it's Lancs, isn't it? It's Lancs and it's April, so you'd assume it would be. And I think we've got no rained-off games, have we? No rained-off Lancs games?
None at all. It was Sunday. It was only the Saturday games in Manchester. They got rained off, wasn't it? So,
great.
We've come to the end of the first weekend. Thankfully, Hugh, we only have 12 leagues to try and look around, and I think we've gone around as many as we possibly can there as quickly as we can. 12 leagues, 72 games. It'll be a little bit more than that next weekend because we've got 2 more that join us when we've got the Yorkshire North League and the Dorset League, which, if I think rightly, the Dorset League must be the most... Oh, sorry, no. 4 more leagues join us next weekend. Yorkshire North, we've got the Liverpool and District competition, Birmingham and District, North Staffs, and the Lincolnshire. That's 5, sorry. And then, surprisingly, the Dorset League started next week to make it 6, and there's 8 teams in that one we've found now, which makes a little bit of a difference. So it gets a little bit busier, but just people have been teased by our social media stuff already, and one of the things that we've got to put out there, we love the stats, don't we? 91 half centuries, 50s, 12 centuries, and 26 fifers in the first weekend. What if we run a sweep on how many is going to be versus last year? That weather was so different last year.
Centuries to fifers was quite consistent, but obviously this time of year it's swayed in the wickets column, and the centuries come more in the summer. But yeah, we'll see where we end up.
Absolutely. Great to talk Premier League cricket, plenty going on. And for those who haven't picked up on it, our new system works quite well, Hugh, doesn't it?
Well, a bit of work over the winter, and it's looking good. And we might get a lot more out on socials on the back of it. So, yeah, looking tired, isn't it?
That's the way to work. It's got to be. I think we are the only people talking about it, so we might as well be the only ones who make it look sort of half decent, eh? Definitely. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for following us. And if you haven't already told someone about us, please do so. And any reviews, any 5-star reviews on podcasts and YouTube will help us and help other people find us. Please do so. You'd agree with that sentiment, I think, Mr. Newsom.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. See you next week, mate.
Cheers.